Today I'm excited. Yes, I am. Today is the first day that I am unveiling my book and my workbook right over there, ladies and gentlemen. So the name of my book is I Rewired My Brain, My Journey to Freedom. And the name of the workbook is I'm Rewiring My Brain, My Journey to Freedom. And that's because the workbook is for you to rewire your brain. And in the book has two parts. The first part of the book is my backstory. And in that backstory, you'll learn about all the trauma and the drama that I went through and how all of that contributed to how my brain got wired. And in the second part of the book, I have the strategies, tools and strategies that I utilize to rewire my brain, in addition to teaching you some basic principles about how your brain gets wired in the first place. And in the workbook goes with the second half of the book. So in the second half of the book, whatever the titles are there, those have the same titles in the actual workbook. And so the best way to do it is when you're reading the book, just go through it and read the whole book from beginning to end. And it's better to slow down when you get to part 2 of the book, because my backstory is like a real interesting read and it's just a page turner. So you're going to go through that kind of quickly. But then I want you to slow down when you get to the second part of the book, because the second part of the book is going to teach you how your brain got wired in the first place. And it's going to teach you how to rewire your brain with the tools and strategies. So you just want to slow down and take your time with that. And then after you've read the whole book, then I recommend that you then do the workbook. I don't recommend doing the workbook without reading the book, because then you're going to miss out on some really important information. So again, the workbook corresponds to the second part of the book. So what I'm going to do right now is to go through one of the chapters in my book. And it's getting ready to be some trauma and drama. So I do want to say that if you have some children in the room, it's something that you probably don't want them to hear. So just, press pause or do whatever you have to do to get them out of the room. Welcome to Dr. K Speaks. I'm Dr. K, and I'm here to help you to navigate through the many challenges in your life's journey so that you might ultimately become the highest version of yourself. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I am going to read from my book some of the trauma and drama that I went through. So right now, what I'm getting ready to read is a little bit of chapter 4. And the title of chapter 4 is Mama No, Please Don't Shoot. And just to give you a backdrop to this was my own trauma and drama that I went through with my mom. So stay tuned. And like I said earlier, it would be better if small children are not in the room for this. Also, when I was 17 years old, my mother was drunk, held a shotgun towards me, and told me that I had to get out. This ordeal happened one evening after I had gotten home from work. I was not feeling well that evening, so after picking up my son from his babysitter's house and coming home to my mother's house, I laid in the bed. Now, let me just say, on that day, I was working downtown Detroit. And when I caught my buses to get home and all that, I don't know what was going on, but I had some headache or some sinus issue or whatever it was, but I was feeling really bad, had a bad headache, but nevertheless, I had to do what I had to do, catch the bus from work and to my babysitter's house to get my son and then have him in the stroller the whole nine, get on the bus with him in the stroller and then roll him all the way home once we got off the bus. And so that day I was feeling really bad. While I was laying in the bed, my son wanted something to drink. He kept coming to me and saying, Mama, Mama, I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. And I kept telling him, okay, in a minute, because I was laying down and I was not feeling good. So I guess I did that one time too many, because my mother obviously heard, because she was in another room. To my surprise, while laying on my bed, I opened my eyes to my mother holding a shotgun on me. She said to me in a slurred and drunken voice, "I brought you here and I'll take you out." Now, mind you, she used to say that statement a lot. "I brought you here and I'll take you out." But that was just like her regular talk sometimes when she was drinking and she would get mad. Then she would always like kind of bring that up. "I brought you into the world and I could take you out." But now this time is a little different because, like I said, she had a shotgun pointed towards me. She complained about me not getting my son something to drink. She was so drunk and menacing as she continued to hold the gun on me. I was terrified. And I can remember sliding back into the bed. I was sliding back into the corner of the bed. And then I was grabbing all of these pillows and putting these pillows in front of me so as to stop a bullet, I guess. I was crying and begging, "Mama, no, Mama, no, please don't shoot me." And then I started calling for her husband, who was in the other room, and telling him, "Mama got a gun. She's got a gun. She's trying to shoot me." Eventually, as my mother continued to brandish that gun on me, I slowly crawled to the edge of the bed because I remembered that my telephone was on the floor. Now I want to say that when I was all sliding back into that bed and putting the pillows in front of me and I was calling for her husband, he didn't answer and he did not even come. So at this point, I'm thinking I got to get some help. With tears streaming down my face, I calmly and slowly maneuvered my way to the edge of the bed to get my telephone. Damn. It was right by my mother's feet. Slowly moving, crying, sobbing, and begging for her not to shoot me while looking down the barrel of her gun, I grabbed the telephone receiver to call. You guessed it, my favorite Aunt Lady. Now, in the earlier part of the book, you'll read all about my Aunt Lady. She was kind of like my shero in a lot of ways. She was always positive and productive and uplifting. As I was dialing the number on the rotary dial phone, my mother started yelling to her husband that I was calling the police. "She's calling the police. She's calling the police." Thank you for listening. And if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel so that you can be aware of all of the other videos that I've posted. And if you have not yet gotten your copy of the book, I Rewired My Brain, My Journey to Freedom, and the workbook, I'm Rewiring My Brain, My Journey to Freedom, I strongly encourage you to get started today with going on Amazon and getting both the book and the workbook because these together are life-changing. I recommend that you get started today so that these books can help you to become the highest version of yourself. Thank you for listening.